Hello again everyone, Genghis here of course, and today I've got a Leopard video on Kharkov for you. Now you probably all saw the video title. I'm going to try to come back and pause the game at different moments to basically try and explain what I'm actually doing right here, outplaying, outflanking or outthinking, or more than one of those, my opponents, in order to get an advantage over them. So please tell me at the end of the video if you liked the way I did it, if you think it was good but could be changed a bit, or if you just think I should go back to the usual stuff. But yeah, this comes from a view suggestion and I hope it's gonna be pretty decent. Anyway, we are on Kharkov. Not really the... one second. to get that done. Not really the best map for a Leopard, to be honest. We should have a slightly better team, as we have both a good T57 and a good mouse, which, well, are on a really good map, to be honest. But it's not a game which is won already or anything like that. Anyway, I'm going to go to this position here. It's a position I really like. I'm going to pause it for the first time. It's a position I really like to go to in tanks which are fast and have armor on top, like superstructure or turret armor, such as the Jagdpanzer II or the 62A. Or so on, 140, 121. Even the E50M isn't too bad here because it's got some turret armor and some whole armor too, and stuff like that. Now, why am I going here in the Leopard? Because basically, the Leopard and Kharkov, all you can do at the beginning of the game, if you don't want to do something useless, well, there's a couple of things, but not a lot either. You can either go in this area and try and get some, one or two flank shots on enemies crossing. You could try and play in this area, like use a turret, use the dunes, but I don't really like it because even if it looks rather open, the engagement distance is rather small, so you're not going to be able to use your view range and camouflage. The only thing you're going to be able to use in Leopard is your gun depression, and that doesn't really work out in case there's like a, enemy tanks that which come here, which you don't want to face, like an I-7 or a TT or whatever. And also it's really easy to get stuck. For example, if you go behind this dune, and there's an enemy at this corner, it's basically impossible to run. And on top of that, RT, it's really dangerous in that area. So yeah, this position, it has one nice advantage, is that you can shoot through this gap here at the beginning of the game and try and shoot some enemies which are crossing without them noticing you. You can, by the way, do this from both sides actually. So that's always a nice thing to do at start. Get off 1, 2, 3 shots on enemies and also get some information about what tanks are going in this area. Also, by doing what I'm doing right now, you can cover that corner, and it's really easy to retreat. Now right now what I'm doing is I'm outplaying at STI. What I do, I was in position first, or more or less at the same time as he was, but I have a better aim time on my gun, as well as a better accuracy, and I just use my superior reflexes to use that advantage to basically just shoot him before he shot me. I had to aim for his lower plate. My shot was not fully aimed. I would have given it like a 50-60% chance to hit, but it did hit. And even if it didn't hit, he didn't really have the time to shoot me in return. Same here. He goes around the corner. I load just in time. If I would have had like 1 second left until I was loaded, I would have just gone back and waited for him to shoot someone else or try to make him miss or something. So there I saw him shoot again. I go back into position. See, the tortoise is taking that position, so I'm just gonna like kind of side skip here. Now, not side skip because I'm gonna bounce anything. I can get very lucky and bounce something off like my side tracks, whatever. But mainly because if I drive forwards, I can get into position really fast, into cover really fast. Now, yeah, I wanna. Wait, just give me a second. Trying to hunt for a shot on T54, keeping an eye always around me. Is the STI pushing? Am I covered by the tortoise? And so on. So, right now I want to pause it. What's going on? Here we have an E75, a tortoise, an F215B, and a bit further away a mouse. They are fighting like 2-3 enemies, mostly tier 9s. Leopard is not really dangerous. It's not going to push or to kill them all quickly. So this area is actually like overfilled with tanks. I could do one thing here, which is to lead the push, but I don't want to do that until unless I'm forced to, because I'm going to take damage because I don't have any armor to do it, And as there are multiple enemies, it's not like I'm going to be able to circle them or just keep flanking or whatever. It's going to be really hard to do that, especially with an enemy Leopard around. Now, this flank here just more or less died. We still have 2 tanks here, but they're basically very far away. And I see me, I'm still full life. Those guys are only tier 9s, even the T-5041 is really dangerous. I still have the advantage over them in a one-on-one, as long as I play well. And I also have a T-57, who I see is a decent player. So I told him in chat to follow me, like I ping the map. If I'm not wrong, I also tell him to follow me at some point. Take a shot on the move there, hit the T-54. I want to note how I'm taking a really long way here. And that's because I don't want to get shot by any enemies here or here very easily. The T-54 doesn't do that, and he in return gets shot in the side by the E-75 and also by these tanks. So now, after basically outflanking my enemies a bit, I'm just here and I'm going to try and outplay them by shooting them when they're not watching, using my gun depression, my good aim time, keep peek-a-booming, and so on. Now I see that the T-57 has already lost a lot of HP. Right now what I'm trying to do is get the E-75 to shoot the tiny part of my turret that I'm showing and hopefully miss. But then the Centurion just YOLOs in, so I decide it's my time to also go in. Now I want to talk about this real quick. What's the situation? We've got a Centurion here YOLOing in. We have a Patton on 1100 HP, who's completely in the open, and an E-75 with some decent cover, even if he's a rather bad player in the back. We also have a T-57 here. Now I know the T-57 is loaded, or at least I am convinced he is, and he's going to, with me or the Centurion putting one more shot into him, kill that Patton for sure. So what I want to do is get into cover, use this ridgeline to hide from the E-75. Now the Patton keeps running and actually gets away, with the T-57 getting some unlucky RNG. But I'm just going to keep using this ridgeline here, or this hill more or less, to stay safe from the E-75 while I reload and take out the Patton. Now that that's done, as long as the E-75 is looking for me, at me, I have all the time in the world to aim and shoot his front track wheel, track him, get him in the side. As soon as he looks at me, I go back to basically try and play as if I was in a platoon with my random teammates here. And I'm moving forward to increase the angle. The E-75 has to turn his turret between me and the T-57, making it a lot harder with his bad turret traverse speed. To actually switch targets real quick, especially as he's tracked. So, right now I'm gonna pause it again, because this is like one of those moments in the game, at least for me, where I go like, okay, pause, score 7-7, HP is rather similar, what the fuck's going on, you know? I mean, I'm driving right now, but I'm just driving back to base in a general area. Well, basically that thought process happened more like here, but whatever. So, we have a T-57 and a Centurion and myself here. We have just cleared this area, and we all seem to be doing the right thing, which is to be going back. We have a couple tanks over here which have more or less cleaned that side too, but are rather far from base except for the tortoise, and I don't know what they're going to do. I expect at least some of them, for example the mouse, to come back, but I can't count on it. That's kind of a meh thing, especially as the only ones with HP are the FE215B and the E-75, but the E-75 is a really bad player. We also have a Jack Bouncy 100 here, but he's completely on his own, and looking at the enemy tanks all around him, he's probably going to die very, very fast. They have an STB, I think, or it has to be an STB who is in cap, because he's unspotted. So yeah, I know he has 700 HP thanks to the XVM damage indicator, which HP indicator, which sadly doesn't work in replays. Now, I see that they have a lot of tanks in this area. That means that there's probably going to be tanks able to fire down this road. They also have an I-7 here, and a T-28 Proto there who are going to be able to fire down these areas. So what I want to do to decap, because that's what I have to do right now, and I know I can outplay, or no, not outplay, I can in a one-on-one beat that STB1 because I have more HP than him with similar alpha and DPM, or same alpha, similar DPM. So what I'm going to do is take the way all around the back, because there's a piece of rubble there in the cap. So if I would come from here, I would probably just keep eating shots from the I-7 and Proto while the STB is like driving around a bit. Maybe then even just going out and guiding me. Now I get unlucky here and I get spotted by the I-7. But now I'm safe from the I-7. I have cover from the Proto, and I can decap, or try to. Now, the SUV is actually playing it smart. I don't know if he noticed me or not, but he gets taken out without my help. And during that time, our Jack Panzer 100 died, and so did our mouse. I get a really unlucky bounce there, and yeah, I want to go and get some damage to the i7, but then he gets safe. And now, to pause it again, what's happening right now? I went forwards into this, on my own really, to this location, not counting that Centurion, because I wanted to decap. That decap is no longer an issue, because STP is dead. So now I have to think about what enemies I want to prioritize, how I can get not surrounded, and what you want to really do in endgame situations, especially in fast tanks, is create local superiorities. What do I mean with that? I don't want to go at those two guys, or at that 183 on my own, and create 1-on-1s or 1v2s, even if I might be able to win them. What I want to do is try and make those guys just hunt me, or just get far away, get away from them, and find enemies which are on their own, but with my teammates around, where I can get to quickly, like the i7, so that then we create a 2v1 or 3v1 against that i7. Now sadly there's a proto here. I get a snapshot into him. Keep moving forwards. I know I have a much better reload. He gets, well, he hides his side armor, but I can bend his turret rather regularly. And yeah, right now what I want to do is get to that i7. The problem is that there's an E5, an E4, and possibly also FE shooting down that road. So what I have to do is take the long way around here, and during that time, he actually dies. Now I get spotted right here, but the E4 does not shoot me. He doesn't get a clutch into me, so that's good news for me. This is a really risky move, but I kind of figured that this soft cover here would make it really hard for him to shoot me, as he is not the best player ever. So I was going to take the risk to get in this area. However, when I spot the 183, who still has a lot of health, okay, I can't one-shot him or two-shot him, and, well, you know, it's a 183, so he does a lot of damage to me, I changed that plan, and decide I want to fight him first. Now right now, I'm trying to be cheeky, and shoot the front of his tank, without him being able to shoot me, and I'm wondering why I can't do it. So I zoom, well, I go forward, spot him again, and I notice he's actually side-scraping. So he's in a really powerful position, because the only way for me to penetrate him, really, is to actually go in a way that he can shoot at me. And I really don't want that to happen. Now I see the tortoise yodeling in. I'm changing position a bit. Take a snapshot at him, which bounces. He ends up taking out the tortoise real quick, if I'm not wrong. Oh no. But anyway, he turned there, and I managed to get a shot into his side. Now the battle is still really close. It's now 12-11. And also we actually have a massive HP advantage. It actually isn't that massive after all. I think that's pretty sure a bug. Actually no, it's not a bug, because I still have 2000 HP, which I just managed to forget once more. But yeah, the FV is 600 HP. And I want to talk about the situation once more. What do we have right now? We have a Centurion going after the RT. But the Centurion is not the best player. RT isn't bad. Centurion needs 2 or even 3 shots for the RT. So Centurion is a 1 shot, so even splash will kill him. So it's not even sure he's going to kill the RT, especially if the RT is also a fast RT and so on. We've got this FV, but he gets 1 shot by both enemies left, except if the FV is shooting Hesh and gets unlucky, basically. And we have myself. I get 1 shot if, or possibly 1 shot, if both the FV and the E4 hit me with AP, or APCR for the E4 at the same time, or just one after the other. So I don't want that to happen. I also get possibly 1 shot if the 183 shoots me with Hesh and penetrates, either if he high rolls, not even that much, or if he also sets me on fire, or for example Amoraks me, which is actually not that improbable when you're getting shot at with Hesh by 183. Now, the enemy's last known position was this. In this kind of situation, enemies often tend to go to the cap, especially if they're already close to your cap, and especially if they're TDs, because that gives them the power to control the engagement and force you to come to them. So what I'm going to do right now is, I don't want to expose myself too much. And here is a position where I can go hold down. Now, the Leopard doesn't have any great turret armor or whatsoever, but the enemies I'm fighting against right now have bad accuracy, really bad, well, they don't even have a fully rotating turret, bad traverse time, and really bad aim time. So even if that E4 would have expected me, or that 183 and come around pointed at me, or I would have bounced or whatever, he would have had to snapshot, and he would have only seen the top of my turret, which you can get lucky bounces on actually, on the turret of the Leopard, the whole forget it. But mainly, the time for him to realize I'm here, because he's coming around the corner, not me, and aim at me and, you know, shoot, I would have already shot him, hopefully penetrated, although that could have not happened, and just fallen back into lower territory, where he couldn't shoot me. So basically, either I just shoot him first and kill him, or I shoot him first but bounce, miss, whatever, and he shoots me, but I hopefully get back into cover in time so that his shot just misses me. Now I did a mistake right here, destroying this tree, and something I just didn't show you, but yeah, I did, is when I was doing this area and the 183 was still spotted, I saw he was pointed in this direction, standing here. Now what does that mean for me? He still has the potential to one-shot me. I want to be sure that I win this game, or at least get it as probable as possible. The Centurion and the Artist still haven't resolved the one-on-one. He's a one-shot for me, but as I said, I want to shoot him first. I don't want to risk him shooting me. So what I'm going to do right now, and yeah, I'm just going to slow it down actually, is I'm going to try to not fall down any destructible cover, and take the longest way possible here, so that I do not get proxy spotted, because I expect him to be here. He could, of course, go out through there, but that would be stupid from him, because he has a rear-mounted turret, and if he goes out like that, I could shoot his tracks or his side armor without him even having a chance of shooting me. So I expect him to be either in this corner, behind some rubble, or just at this corner aiming that way, because he thinks I'm going to come from there. So I'm outthinking my opponent by going around him, without destroying any cover. Let's go back to half speed, I guess, or normal speed even. And yeah, see how I'm really not destroying these trees, especially at the end. Going in. See him, snapshot. I had heat loaded for the last shot and I kill him. And just before that, the M53 destroyed, no, the Centurion destroyed the M53. Now, I'm gonna show you the post-game stats. This wasn't the best carry ever or anything, I'm not even gonna pretend it was. But I felt like, first of all, I mean, I was still full life doing 5,000, what was it? 600 damage on a city map and actually playing rather aggressively in a Leopard, so that's, you know, I mean, like, hits received 0. That's kind of what I want to show you. How you can just by always outflanking, especially ones on big city maps, like, yeah, like this, like Ensk. Even if Ensk is small, it's very, like, there are a lot of corners and buildings and roads and stuff like that, not like on Runeberg. Or like on Siegfried Line, for example. Once the, like, examples for this are Kharkov, Siegfried Line, and Ensk right now, which come to my mind. Once the battle develops a little, if you're in a fast tank and you manage to always keep map awareness of where your enemies are, you can keep outflanking them and always shooting enemies which have slow turret traverse, slow traverse, and bad aim times in the side, and going back into cover before you're even spotted, or just when you get spotted you're already back into cover. Now if you want to do this, it's really important you're not spotted when you come for them, or that they just can't turn for you, you know what I mean? Like if E100 is sidescaping a jackbounce E100 and you appear behind him, he's not going to turn around and eat a shot from the jackbouncer just to not even shoot you, because you're going to be back into cover before he turns around. So you always have to shoot distracted enemies, or enemies which you outsink or outflank. And if you manage to do this, you can do your best on these kind of maps in tanks which are not really made for it, which can be scouts, leopards, bat chats, even the weakly armored tanks like the M46 pattern, or tanks which rely a lot on the turret armor, even if those are a lot different, because in some situations they can really play like a heavy, like 62A in a city map like Kharkov. If you manage to get a wreck or a good rubble piece in some positions, you can really just stay there like a heavy tank, even if you don't have the alpha. And then on the other situation, if you're driving around, you basically have no armor because your hull is butter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just gonna go over the stats real quick. Yeah, you know, 22 shots fired, 20 hits, 17 did damage, 1000 assisted. I drove nearly 3.5 kilometers, so that's not too bad. And I managed to pick up 5 kills, if I'm not wrong. 4 kills. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me in the comments if you liked this. If you think I should do the same but without pausing, just putting half speed, or pausing more, or maybe even pausing and drawing what I mean like on the screen using some kind of program, I could look into that. Or if it's good this way. What do you think? What are your opinions? If you just want me to go back to the usual, just let the replay run, pause it once every 3 replays sometimes, if there really is something to explain. Or if you really like me going into my thought process as deep as I'm doing right here. I mean, that's not going to happen every time, sometimes it's just more obvious, but yeah. Tell me in the comments. I hope you like this. And of course, remember to comment, like, subscribe, follow, and so on.